In thinking this over, I did sort of group what we hear today into about 7 different categories, and I'd like to ask you what you feel not only about the music, but about the future of each of these forms. For example, taking the earliest, just straight Dixieland. I mean, you do hear that today.
Yeah.
It's featured in a lot of clubs. Now, do the musicians who play it merely satisfy the demand of the college crowd or whoever it is that particularly wants to hear that, or do they honestly want to play that?
Well, I'd rather say that they honestly want to play that. That's their conception, that's their idea, that's the way they think it should go. So they render, likewise.
And how often and how long will they continue to play High Society and When the Saints Go Marching In?
There's no time. There's nowhere in the world that you can tell how long it'll go on,
With roughly the same solos and...
Yeah, roughly the same idea. Well, that's the skeleton. That's the way that music was set up, with certain, I guess you'd call them choruses, little ad-lib choruses that were remembered and handed down from person to person, and they just respect the solos of the older age, rather than the improvisation of spontaneous improvisation, that is.
But as I can probably gather...
Ad-lib, in other words.
You have no interest in that subject at all.
Well, I like Dixieland. I like good Dixieland. It's, but I just don't, I don't play because I most likely wouldn't make a good job at it anyway. I just think it should go another way.
Sure. Now, what about the musicians who don't play bebop, as you refer to it, and who also have grown tired of the Dixieland cliches? I don't even know what to call their music. Many fine musicians who are not particularly Dixieland addicts, but who play, well, I just don't know what to call it.
Well, that came along during the swing era. Say, for instance, Dixieland, I think, was introduced in 14 or 15. And then the swing era came in about 1928 and lasted until 1935, 36. I guess you'd put them to say, like, if you just had to categorize, you'd say that was the swing era,
The audiences are pretty violently split between Dixieland and cool music, and there seems to be no room for these middle-of-the-road swing musicians.
Oh, I'd like to differ. I beg to differ. In fact, there's always room for musicians. There's no such thing as the middle of the road. It will be one thing or the other, either good music or otherwise, And it doesn't make any difference which idiom it might be in, swing, bebop, as you want to call it, or Dixieland. If it's good, it'll be heard.
And now cater exclusively to the go crowd.
That I wouldn't know either, since I don't cater to that particular thing. I wouldn't know. But, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's just rather more or less the way a man feels when he plays his instrument. I mean, if he feels that, it will stay. If he's just trying to commercialize on it, it'll most likely vary from one thing to another.
I'm speaking particularly of Dave Brubeck and Jerry Mulligan. What do you feel about them?
Well, the two men you mentioned being extremely good friends of mine, even if they weren't friends of mine, I'd find their music very, very interesting. Not only from an intellectual standpoint, it's very intelligent music and it's very well played. It's got a lot of feeling and it isn't missing anything. It's definitely music, 100%.
Would you feel yourself fitting into a group like that
Oh, I imagine I could become acclimated. Yes, I would like something like that.
Mm-hmm. Lenny Tristano, collective improvisation with no theme, no chorus, no chord changes on which to work.
No. Those are, just like you said, mostly improvisations, and if you listen close enough, you can find the melody traveling along with any series of chord structures, And rather than to make the melody predominant in the style of music that Lenny and them present, it's more or less heard or felt.
No basic set of chord changes or anything.
Well, there must be a build-up to the both the key signature and the chord structure that tends to create the melody
as they go along.
Yes.
Well, now I've given you an opportunity to speak of Stan Kenton.
Yeah. Well, just as I was going on to say, Stan holds my definite interest. I mean, lots of ways. He's pioneered quite a bit in this progressive style of music.
With perhaps little opening for improvisation by any soloist.
No, well, you had two factors moving there. You said Nat wrote that?
No, this is written by Leonard Bernstein.
Anyway, Leonard Bernstein, yeah. I can understand how he meant when he says the fellow would say, look at me, I'm modern. That's strictly from the publicity agent's mouth. You know, Stan never has made such a statement. I know he hasn't. Most likely never will. But he's still done many things, many good things toward the pioneering of this music, introducing of strings, different instrumentations, different chord structures, and just pioneering in general. He's definitely an asset to the music.
What is to take their place and be the basis for your future?
That's hard to tell too, John. See, like your ideas change as you grow older. Most people fail to realize that most of the things that they hear either coming out of a man's horn, ad-lib, or else things that are written, you know, say, original things. I mean, they're just experiences, the way he feels, the beauty of the weather, the nice look of a mountain, maybe a nice, fresh, cool breath of air. I mean, all those things, you can never tell what you'll be thinking tomorrow, but I definitely can say that music won't stop. It'll keep going forward.
And you feel that you yourself change continuously?
I do feel that way, yes.